The cost of living in the priciest U.S. cities is justified. The residents are prepared to pay a premium for housing, food, and transportation in order to take advantage of the pleasant climate. Others choose a more urban environment with access to a variety of restaurants, museums, and other cultural attractions. Isolation, though, can play a major role in some circumstances. It's inevitable that costs will rise when almost everything has to be brought in from far away. Therefore, without further ado, let's take a look at the most costly cities in America. Number 1. San Diego, California. Miles of beautiful beaches and a mild year-round temperature make San Diego a haven for nature lovers. This Pacific Coast city offers a wide variety of outdoor activities for both residents and visitors, including surfing, sailing, hiking, biking, golfing, and simply enjoying Balboa Park. San Diego also has a world-class zoo, museums, professional sports teams, and an eclectic dining scene for individuals who would rather relax than go on an adventure. The United States Navy, Qualcomm, and the University of California, San Diego are among the city's top employers. With all these benefits San Diego provides is still an expensive city to call home. The cost of housing in this area is 127% greater than the U.S. average. Compared to the national average of $465,991, the average home price in San Diego is a stunning $1,040,000. Monthly apartment rent is $3,174, which is significantly higher than the national average of $1,427. And that's not even the worst of it. Food, medical care, and basic services are all roughly 10% more expensive than in the United States on average. The cost of transportation is very high, over 28% greater than the average cost across the United States. Number 2. Boston, Massachusetts. It is easy to see why Boston is such a desirable place to live, with its unrivaled collection of universities, hospitals, historical sites, tech and biotech employers. However, while the city's popularity undoubtedly comes at a high cost, it is not nearly as high as some East Coast cities that are often mentioned in the same breath as Boston. Since there are so many students, fresh graduates, and young professionals in the area, living expenses must be reasonable. For instance, the cost of groceries is only 13% higher than the national average. Healthcare costs 14% more than the average American pay. Other goods and services are not more than 21%. But at 117% more than the U.S. average, housing-related expenses are devastating. In both the rental and ownership markets, housing costs are significantly higher than the average for the country. For instance, the typical monthly rent is $3,831 as compared to the national average of $1,427 per month. As opposed to the national average home price of $465,991, the average price of a home in Boston is $937,122. Number 3. Seattle, Washington. Several years ago, Seattle's economy was as steaming hot as coffee, resulting in constant cost increases. Although COVID-19 provided some relief from the ongoing price rises, Seattle is still among the most expensive cities in the United States. In Seattle, there is no shortage of well-paying work because the city is a center for one of the big technological industries like Microsoft and Amazon. Other smaller high-tech firms have established local headquarters there also. The biggest factor contributing to Seattle's high prices is the high cost in the housing market. The cost of living index shows that the price of housing is more than 3 times the national average for both renters and homeowners. And that's not even everything. Prices for food, transportation, medical care, and other necessities average between 25% and 35% higher than what typical Americans pay. Number 4. Los Angeles, California. The city of Los Angeles is known for its glitz and glamour, yet the majority of its citizens do not find their livelihoods in the film industry or on Rodeo Drive. While Los Angeles is among the most costly cities in the United States due to its high cost of living, the median yearly income is only $655 higher than the national average. The allure of the nation's second most populous city, from the Hollywood to Beverly Hills to Venice Beach. Several notable museums and the Los Angeles Philharmonic can be found in LA. Transportation costs in Los Angeles are 26% higher than the national average, due in part to the city's infamous gridlock. Housing costs are significantly greater than the rest of the economy, draining residents of their income even while groceries, utilities, healthcare, and other miscellaneous products and services are only approximately 7 to 15% higher than the U.S. average. Los Angeles has housing costs about 140% more than the national average. For instance, the median home price in Los Angeles comes to $1.1 million, which is significantly more than the median price of a property of $465,991 across the country. Number 5. Washington, District of Columbia. The nation's capital is a tale of two cities when it comes to living costs. The cost of living index data shows that housing-related costs, such as rent or mortgage payments, are 2.4 times higher than the national average, but other costs are still affordable. Washington, D.C. healthcare prices are around 5% lower than the national average. There is an overall 5% increase in the cost of groceries, an 18% increase in the cost of utilities, and 12% increase in the cost of other goods and services. Transport costs still higher than the U.S. average, but still aren't overly burdensome. The District of Columbia has a comprehensive bus and metro system that makes getting around the city and its suburbs easy and inexpensive. Number 6. Orange County, California, as it is most commonly known as a wealthy area. This county includes several municipalities which borders Los Angeles to southeast, which consist of Anaheim, Santa Ana, and Irvine. But one of Orange County's smaller and wealthier enclaves has helped the county earn a reputation as a haven for Southern California's affluent and famous. The Cost of Living Index reports that the average home price in all of Orange County is at $1.3 million. Monthly apartment rents of $3,025 are only slightly more than twice the national average. Surprisingly, utilities are around 5% cheaper in Orange County, while healthcare is just about 2% more expensive and groceries are around 6% more expensive than they would be in the United States generally. Number 7. Brooklyn, New York. Although being one of the 5 boroughs that make up New York City, Brooklyn has become something of a metropolis on its own in the past 20 years or so. As a matter of fact, if Brooklyn were its own city, its population would rival that of Chicago. At one time, people who couldn't afford to live in Manhattan had Brooklyn as a real option, but not anymore. Expenses incurred due to housing, such as rents and mortgages, are over 4 times the national average, and yet Brooklyn has a lower median household income than the rest of the country, also $17,000 less than the average income in Manhattan. However, not every service or goods in Brooklyn is overly expensive. The cost of utilities is roughly 4% higher than the national average, while the cost of healthcare is roughly 6% higher. And also prices are around 15% more than the national average when you factor in the cost of groceries and transportation. Number 8. San Francisco, California. San Francisco's skyrocketing cost of living is a direct result of the city's years of rapid expansion, which has been fueled by the hiring of highly compensated tech professionals. It's common knowledge that real estate in some cities is costly. The Cost of Living Index reports that the median property price in San Francisco is a whopping $1.5 million. Not much better off are San Francisco's renters, who pay an average of $3,724 per month for an apartment, which is about 3 times above the U.S. average. In fact, the overall housing cost related in San Francisco is 4 times the national average. And the prices don't stop there. Everyday costs, including food, utilities, healthcare, and transportation, are roughly 30% higher than in the United States. Prices for general merchandise and services are about 25% more than the national average. Number 9. Honolulu, Hawaii. Prices in Honolulu are higher than the national average because of the city's location in the Pacific Paradise. Shipping or flying most things to Hawaii significantly increases their cost. In comparison to other major cities examined by the Cost of Living Index, Honolulu has the priciest grocery prices. Compared to the national average, the cost of milk and bananas is roughly double, and the cost of potatoes is nearly 3 times as high. Utility costs are 35% higher than they would be on the U.S. mainland. The cost of both healthcare and transportation is around 20% more than in the United States. But housing costs continue to be the primary drain on household income. Honolulu's housing costs are more than 4 times the U.S. average. The median price of a property is $1.6 million. Number 10. Manhattan, New York. If you've ever been to Manhattan, you don't need to be told that it's an expensive place to visit. Apartment rents average a staggering $4,531 per month, and home prices are a median $2.5 million. This is because space is at a premium and location is of paramount importance. Nevertheless, that's not all. The cost of groceries is 26% higher than the national average, and the cost of transportation is 10% higher. However, the cost of goods and services have increased by 36%. For instance, the price of a movie ticket has increased by 60%. The cost of a yoga class is around 2 times the average cost in the United States. Considering all of these factors, it's no surprise that Manhattan is the priciest city in the United States.